Hey guys, and welcome to this edition of Mr. Wood's fantastic math class. So today, looking at parallel lines, talking about slope and how do we write equations of parallel lines given slope and some points. So all things related to lines and slope. So here we go. All right, so here we go on number one. Number one's just saying determine whether they're parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So the first thing we need to know, I need to know what is their slope. So if I'm looking at line AB, how do I find the slope? Well, I know I got to just do x1, y1, x2, y2, and take and figure out what is the slope. So this would be then y2 minus y1, so 0 minus -4. So, and then take and say 6 minus 3, right? So 6 minus 3. So 0 minus -4 would become 4. 6 minus 3 is 3. So that is for AB. So let's see, what does CD look like? Well, CD, once again, x1, y1, x2, y2. So if I do 8 minus 0, so 8 minus 0, or y2 minus y1, and -6 minus 0, that's going to give me 8 and -6, which would simplify to -4/3. So in this case, I got a -4/3 and a +4/3, which that does not, those are not the same, right? Because one's positive, one's negative. So they're not parallel because they're not the same. They're not flipped upside down. So in other words, one's 4/3, the other would have to be -3/4. So it's not -3/4, so it's not perpendicular. So therefore, this answer has to be that they are neither parallel nor perpendicular. All right, moving. All right, here we just want to know the slope of this line. So this one's nice and easy. So just figure out what is the slope. So here I'm just doing -3 minus 5. So that's going to be my slope there. And 7 minus -3, 7 minus -3. And so I know this is going to be -8 divided by 10, because 7 minus a negative and a negative make a positive. So that would be then 10. And -8 would be simplified to -4/5 when you divide both of them by 2. So that would be our answer for 2. Okay. All right, now for 3, we want to be able to write an equation of the line. So I want to put it into y equals mx plus b format. So I need an equation of a line that is parallel to this line, so parallel to this line AB, and goes through this point. So if it's parallel to this line, I know that means it's going to be the same slope. So I got to figure out what's the slope of this one. So if I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, so that means it's going to rise 4, and it's going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to run 6. So that means my slope, or my m, would have to be 4 divided by 6, which is the same thing if you divide both of these by 2 to simplify, would be 2/3. Okay, so I know my m. We also do know an x point and a y point. So I can put those into my equation. Well, the y is -10. The m we know is 2/3. My x is -9, and what I don't know is b. So I'm going to solve for b here, right? So this is going to give me then -10 equals, and when you multiply this, we're multiplying 2 times -9, so this would be -18 divided by 3 plus b. So now I got -10, and -18 divided by 3 is -6 plus b. And so then you would have to add 6 in order to solve for b. All right, add 6. So that tells me -4 is equal to b. Okay, so now what I want is an equation, right? Y equals mx plus b. We know our m and we know our b. So the answer, or the equation, would be y equals m 2/3 x and then our b was -4. And that would be the answer for this problem. All right, for question 4, I notice I have the equation 2x plus 5y equals 6, and it's not in y equals mx plus b format. So I don't know the m. I don't know my slope yet. Once again, it's got to be parallel, meaning I'm looking for the same slope. So I need to somehow move this x over here to this side to make it away from the y, right? Because notice here the y and the x are on opposite sides of the equal sign. Here the y and the x are on the same side. So in order to do that, we'd have to do opposite operations and subtract 2x. That would leave me on this side of the equal sign, because these cancel, 5y. What's on the right side? A -2x and a +6. Well, I still don't have the y by itself. I got to get rid of that. So we have to divide by 5. Divide by 5. And so now what does it look like? It says y equals -2 over 5, and that is what's in front of the x, plus 6 over 5. So now what is your m? So the slope that we want is -2 over 5. So -2/5 would be the slope that we're needing. Well, now I also know, once again, we know we got to put it into y equals mx plus b format, right? We know the 5 is the x, the 3 is the y, so I can plug that in. So 3 is my y. I know my m is -2/5. I know my x is 5. And then that would be plus b. So we're solving for b again, right? So this is 3, -2 times 5, -10 over 5 plus b. Can divide that out. 3 equals -10 divided by 5 is -2 plus b. Add 2 to both sides, and b equals 5. Okay, so we have all that. Now we just got to figure out what is our equation. All right, so what would our equation be? We're writing, right? All we got to write is what is the m and what is the b. So this is y equals -2/5 x, because once again it's parallel, so we got to have the same slope as what that line was. And then all we're changing is technically the y-intercept or the b. So we're just changing our y-intercept point, right? That's the only thing that's moving around is that. And that's done for that. All right, for 5, we're looking for a line that's parallel to this line. So we know our slope has got to be what? Our slope has got to be 2. So we already know that our slope is equal to 2. What I don't know is my b, right? But we do know I got an x and I have a y, so we're doing the same thing that we've been doing. Y equals mx plus b. Plug in our y, -3. Plug in our m of 2, plug in our x of 1, and solve for b. So -3 equals 2 plus b. Here you would have to subtract 2, so b is equal to -5. So there is my b. Here is my m. And now we can write our equation. Y equals 2x minus 5. And we have the answer for 5, and we're all done. All right, 6, it says, what is the value of r at the line that passes through? So we have 2 different points, so I know this point 4, 3, so I know this point 4, 3, and I know this point -5, r, so I know this is x1, I know this is y1, I know this is x2, I know this is y2, and it says that has a slope that's equal to -1. Well, how do we find slope? We know slope is what? y2 minus y1, so this would be r minus 3 divided by -5 minus 4, and that is equal to -1. Well, how do you solve that? Okay, well, let's actually simplify what is -5 minus 4. So now I have r minus 3. -5 minus 4 is the same thing as -9. equals to -1. Okay, now I want to get the r by itself, so we want to move this -9. And what does this mean? This means r minus 3 divided by -9. So to move it, we have to do the opposite, right? Just like moving anything else. In order to move, we got to do the opposite. So since this is divide, the opposite would be multiply. So I know if I multiply, that would then cancel. And I would be left with r minus 3 equals 9. And now we could add 3 to both sides, and r is equal to 12 when we do add 3 or move the 3 over. Once again, add 3. 9 plus 3 is 12. And let's just double check that to make sure. So if I plug that in, what is 12 minus 3 divided by -5 minus 4? Well, 12 minus 3 is 9, and -5 minus 4 is -9, and that does equal -1. So this does check out, and we are done. Hopefully this helps, and you guys have a great day. See you on the flip side.